Hello, good morning. In the previous class, we had studied the methods of producing interference patterns. There are two types of method. First is the division of wavefront and division of amplitude. So, in that first method, that is the division of wavefront. So, we are seeing first example, that is the Fresnel biprism is the example of division of amplitude. So, what is the Fresnel biprism? So, this is the diagram for the starting arrangement of the Fresnel biprism. So it is made up of two acute angle prism. So there are the two acute angle prism. First is this is the first angle prism, this is the first prism, and this is upper is the half portion is the second prism, and with their bases in contact. So this is the contact basis of the two prism. Okay, so there is a contact of two prism, upper prism and the lower prism, so forming a single obtuse angle prism. So when these two prism mix with each other or contact with each other, forms the single obtuse angle prism. So this total prism is the obtuse angle prism. The acute angle is the alpha. So this alpha is the acute angle and this one also the acute angle. These two are the acute angles. The acute angle alpha on both the sides is of the order of, this angle is 30 radian. Okay, 30 radian, or it can be known as the 1 degree. Okay, this angle means this both the angles have the measurement 30 degree. Okay, 30 radian or 1 degree, and the obtuse angle. So this is the obtuse angle, and this obtuse angle is of the order of near about 179 degree. Okay, this is the 1 degree and this is the obtuse angle is of the order of 179 degree. So the prism is placed with its refracting edges parallel to the line joining the source. We know that the prism has the refracting edges. There is a rough surface. Okay, rough surface produced on both the sides of the prism, and this rough surface is known as the refracting surface. So the prism is placed with its refracting surface on the refracting surface parallel to the source. This source is parallel to this refracting surface. This is refracting surface of the prism. So this refracting surface is parallel to the source. Okay, line joining the source, and the point O, this is the screen. This total is the screen. So this is the center of the screen O. Okay, so the point O on the screen place perpendicular to the plane of the paper. So this center and this is the screen. So this place perpendicular to the plane of the paper. So this is the initial arrangement of the Fresnel biprism. So this total diagram is known as the Fresnel's biprism. Okay. So then what is the production of, how production of two coherent sources is? So in this diagram, this A, B and S is the source. The distance between this A and B is the small d, and this total distance from the source and the screen is the capital D. So first of all, when the light from the source S, so source emits the number of lines here. So when the source emits when the light from the source falls on the lower portion of the prism, means this lower portion. Okay, so after refraction it appears to come from the virtual image at the B. Virtual image B means when light from the source fall on the lower portion, means this light, this arrow fall on the lower surface, and after refraction it appears as a virtual image B. Then similarly, when the light from the source S falls on the upper portion of the prism, after refraction it appears to be as the virtual image as the A. Means we get the A and B sources, and these two, hence A and B acts as the two coherent sources. Okay, got it idea? When light from the source S fall on the lower portion, we appears a point B, virtual image B, and when source emits the light and appears fall on the upper portion of the prism, so it appears as a virtual image B. So that's why this A and B acts as a two coherent sources, because the light emits with the same constant phase difference from that A and B. So that's why A and B acts as a two coherent sources. So the distance x between the biprism and the source s. So this b, the distance between this biprism and the source is the x. Okay. And it's adjusted so that the virtual image A and B lie very close to each other. This distance and this distance are very close to each other. This is the small d. Small d is the distance between two coherent sources A and B. So it is adjusted so that the distance between A and B is very small. Okay. So interference fringes of equal width are produced between B and C. So this the pattern. This lining side is the interference pattern produced on the B and C. That means this is the interference pattern. There is a dark, first of all, dark fringe. So this is the interference pattern produced. This is the dark fringe. Then again this gap is the bright fringe. Then again dark. Then again bright. So this is the interference patterns produced on the screen BC. Again this is the dark. Again this is the dark. This is the bright, 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 bright. This is the dark and this is the dark. So therefore the interference fringes of equal width are produced between the B and C on the screen placed parallel to the source and parallel to the plane of the paper. So to observe the fringes and the screen, the distance between the biprism and the screen is the y. Means screen is placed at a distance of y from the biprism. The distance between the source and the prism is the x, and distance between this prism and the screen is the y distance. Okay. So to observe the fringes, screen is replaced by the micrometer eyepiece. So when the interference fringes are produced here, so this screen is replaced, and here we apply a micrometer eyepiece. That means this is the micrometer eyepiece we apply here, and this way we are watching. This is the okay. So from here we can observe the fringes of equal, and we seen it as this. Okay. So this is the interference pattern which we observe from the Fresnel biprism, and this is of the equal width. Means bright bands and dark band has the same width. Okay. So this is the interference pattern which we observed. So we know that here small d is the distance between the two sources A and B, and capital D is the distance between the source and the screen. And from that, here beta is the fringe width. Here small d is the distance between two sources A and B, or we can write virtual images A and D. Capital D is the distance between source and screen, means from point here to here. This is the capital D, distance between the source and screen, and beta is the fringe width. Okay. So beta is the fringe width. So by using the formula, beta is equals to capital D divided by small d and lambda. Okay. So we can calculate the beta by using this formula. Here capital D is the distance between source and screen, small d is the distance between two virtual images A and B, and lambda is the wavelength of lights which emits from the source. Okay. And from that we can write this lambda is equals to small d divided by capital D into beta. But we know that this capital D is nothing but the x and y, that means addition of x and y. So therefore we get lambda is equals to small d divided by capital D, beta, and here x plus y. So by using this formula we can, if capital D known, if small d known and beta known, the wavelength of the line can be determined from this formula. Capital D we have to know, beta we have to know, and x plus y we have to know. Then we can find the wavelength of the light which we observe here. Okay. So in the next class we will see the experimental arrangement of this Fresnel biprism. Thank you.